Hey guys, it's Lauren. If you need help with any writing tips or help refilling your creative well, you've come to the right place as I am a blind author. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a tag me and Nicole came up with for the Poets Corner.
First question, who is your favorite poet?
This was hard to answer because I'm still trying to read more poetry, as I feel like I read more short stories and novels and poems. But if I have to pick one, I would pick Maya Angelou. A lot of her poems have this idea of sparking intellect and asking these probing questions that, they're hard to think of in conversation. And then once they're brought up, they seem to raise questions about things that are happening around the world, but then it also has like a hopeful spin to some of the dialogue that she uses in her poems.
Next question, what inspires your poetry?
So the obvious answer is other works that I've read, art, theater, and I think also life experiences and dreams that I can remember, or fragments from dreams that I can remember. Because a lot of times I won't remember my dream, but I'll remember an idea from it will stick out, or a theme of it will stick out, and sometimes I'll write a poem inspired from that. And the other big thing too is listening to music. A line or certain parts of the song will stick out, and that too will inspire a poem.
Next question, what poet inspires your writing?
So I was afraid I did not have an answer for the question, and Nicole brought up a good point that in a lot of poems that Robert Frost writes, they're very descriptive. I mean, so is Poe, but
no, that's not your style.
Poe is very dark. And don't get me wrong, I've read some of Frost's poems where they can seem dark, but they still have that glimmer of hope or discovery throughout the poem.
Next question, what poet writing style would you try to replicate?
So, I don't think it would be Poe. That would be too challenging in itself. And a lot of the poems that Nicole has written are like Poe. And I'm doing the research to try and figure out how to write a style would probably give me nightmares. Bubble shot! But I think my answer would be either Robert Frost or Maya Angelou, because they both have this interesting perspective of looking at the world from a different angle and being able to put into words what they see in a descriptive way. And I feel like sometimes, I think why I like these two more than Poe, much I do like Poe, that the rhyming style and the rhythm to some of their poems kind of make me think of songs.
Next question, what is the easiest poetry style to write
in? There's so many different ways to write a poem. Even the video we did covering some of the major styles of poetry didn't even do it justice because there's so much more to uncover. So I would say the easiest form for me, or the easiest style for me, would be free verse, because there is no setup structure or format that you have to follow. It's just however you see the idea in your head, putting it to paper.
Next question is the opposite. What is the most difficult poetry style to write in?
So obviously writing poems are hard because you want the lines of the poem to rhyme and make sense with the theme that you're going with. So in line of that, a sonnet is also hard because it's a 14-line poem that also rhymes. And a lot of people associate sonnets with Shakespeare. And whenever I try to read Shakespeare, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I'm more like, what does this mean? Oh, what does this mean? What does this mean? Like, I'll just read to you. Yay! Next question. What poetry style is overused?
So the two that came to my mind is rhyming poem because, I mean, a lot of people grow up reading Dr. Seuss, and that's all basically a form of rhyming poetry. And the other form that came to my mind is that's called acrostic poem, and it's when you write somebody's name or the letter of a word down, and each letter rhymes with each letter that is in the word or the name has an attribute that rhymes.
Next question. What poetry style is underrated?
So the one that Nicole suggested to me, I like, and I think I want to take a stab at writing in one, is a sensory poem. So you take an object like a rose and you find ways to describe using all 5 senses. And for someone that writes a lot of descriptive language in their work, I think that would be a good fit for me.
Next question. What is a poem you recommend to others?
So, I have 2 answers. So, the obvious one is The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe.
Coach Raven.
Nevermore! And the second one is The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost.
Next question. Who is a poet you want to read more from?
I would choose Emily Dickinson. Like Poe, a lot of her poems have a dark, somber vibe to them, and I honestly don't think I've read any poem by her.
It's interesting though is that unlike other poets, how hers were published is that her family had went to her house after passing, and they had found boxes all around the room full of papers like loose leaves, newspapers, books, and they all had her poems written on it.
Yeah, wasn't it like any scrap of paper she could find she would use to write a poem?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just thought it was cool that her family was able to know her well enough to create the book for her. Next question. What poet, dead or alive, would you like to meet to discuss their work?
I would say Maya Angelou, because I would like to hear the struggle that she faced, not only being a poet that was a woman, but also a poet that was a woman of color. I know there is a lot that Black author tubers face here on YouTube, and so I can only imagine the struggle that she faced during her time when she was alive.
Next question. If you could collab with an indie or famous poet, who would it be?
See, this is a hard question. I think it would be cool to collab with JD Estrada. Yeah, I didn't butcher your last name. I think it's really cool that recently he tried to write poems inspired by fairy tales, so that's a plus. And the fact that he's also writing a book of poetry in Spanish. So trying to write things in English and then in another language, I think is another hurdle on top of itself, even though that's his native language. But still, trying to write things in more than one medium is always hard. I feel like he always has this way of writing things in a unique way that we don't think about. And also not relying on cliche. For the last question, I get to tag people. Yay! Nicole, you don't count because we know you're. We know you're gonna do it. That's poetry. But I tag JD Estrada, Ashley Marie Egan, and Emily Page Wilson. And they're all three fabulous poets on YouTube. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a fun tag to create. You guys know I love making tags, they're fun. And I get to stretch some side of myself that's creative. Plus, if I didn't tag you in this and you write poetry or you love poetry, feel free to do the tag as well. And as always, find a way to be creative today, and I'll see you in the next video.